keep saying the man heavy is the head. Just be careful, be mindful, because that's not a blip. That's a trend. Let's talk Gucci Mane.
Yes, sir.
And Joe Budden been popping in and out of news podcasts.
As he should.
As he should, right?
That means his work is being done out here
Somebody
in these
listening
streets.
to Joe Budden. So apparently they were having a conversation and Joe was talking about...
I'm a fan of Joe Budden.
I am too. Talking about Gucci's label and, 1017 and his signings and the things that have,
happened to his
signees. I'm going to go through a couple of passages here. Did I say that right, Lon?
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Passages.
Not a hard word to say. I mean,
I'm just asking, bro.
not like you said, like
Speaked.
yeah. I mean, or
Spoked it.
or
You like
delectable or something like that.
Delectable?
Delectable.
Did you like passage?
Passage is normal, man.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not.
I'm just asking, bro.
Your mom's an English teacher, man.
Now you talking about my mama.
Don't get
I'm
a whooping
saying-
when you go
Now
back
you talking about
home.
my mama. Now you talking about my mama.
He's not talking.
I've known this dude a
he's
long
not
time,
talking
man.
about her.
No,
It's talking about you.
My mama like him.
But he's not talking about her.
I'm emotional.
He's saying he's pretty much saying that
I'm emotional.
I'm co-signing your mother.
more from you.
Now he laughs.
because he knows your mom.
He does. So let me read some of this Joe Budden.
That's
right?
why he's laughing.
Let me read some of this Joe Budden, and then I'll read Gucci's response. So he says, and this is in relation to, he's kind of making a comparison to the rap industry and sports. He says, the same thing has happened in rap the last decade, where we have never seen this many people die. We have never seen this many shootings, stabbings, click beef, arrests, RICOs. I've never seen it in hip hop. That conversation runs concurrent with, for me and the rest of the musicians, the death of the A&R, the death of musicianship. Those are together for me. He says, so when I say Gucci Mane's scouting needs to be under examination, it's because this is now what, 8, 9, 10? Obviously, question mark. I don't know. A whole roster that is just suffering from the different stroke curse. And I don't think it's a coincidence anymore. So somebody brought this up in the interview.
What is the different strokes curse?
Dead or in jail.
Yeah, talking about the actors and
But shout out to Todd Bridges.
Arnold Willis.
He's doing all right.
he actually had
Janet Jackson is doing really well.
Yeah.
But they did have some of that though. With the cast though.
I mean, with Dana Plato, that was probably the most tragic
Yeah, it was
story.
the 80s.
for sure.
You
You're
know,
right.
but even with Gary,
80s with money.
Gary Coleman, his parents stole his money.
But let me read what Gucci said in response when someone asked him.
Okay.
So he says, I think that's unfair, You know what I'm saying? For him to say that, but I guess he's entitled to his opinion. But to me, who else is going to give them a chance? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to sign the guys who don't need no help.
Like Tuck Tarantino.
Correct.
Brilliant.
Exactly.
That's
You're
brilliant.
very right.
Well, you podding right now. I'm signing the guys who don't nobody want to sign. Who's saying
Reading is struggling right now. What is going on?
Gucci got it chopped up.
Reading is fundamental.
Gucci got it chopped up over here. Who's saying like,
Want me to take over?
you got a criminal, you got a criminal record,
You need to increase the size of the font.
man. Hey, reading this is crazy. All right, so
Somebody
where'd
is subscribed to Patreon so we get some new contacts. From
I leave at? Let me try this again because there's too much going on.
What is going?
Like, I'm not trying to sign the guys who don't need no help. I'm
Okay.
signing the guys who don't nobody want to sign. Who's saying like, oh, you got a criminal record, we gonna stay away from you. Them the guys I'm giving a chance. So he says if they
Maybe
Stop.
you shouldn't.
Hey, man.
I'm sorry. It's like we criticize you reading. All of a sudden, you start reading louder.
Yeah, I thought that would help.
I went to the store.
Man, Gucci got a lot of
He like that kid in class. He didn't want to read.
bro. This is Gucci passionate with what he's saying. Basically, he's saying if they would have checked my background and my criminal stuff,
Right.
then people wouldn't have perhaps given me a chance.
For sure.
So is Joe Budden fair in his assessment?
Yep.
And or does Gucci have a point as it relates to him
We just
giving
literally
out opportunities
just
to
talked
people?
about an individual.
We did kind of because lacrosse tut.
Yeah.
Wow.
Go ahead, Long.
It's kind of accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Kind of accurate. Yeah, perhaps. What y'all think?
Private
Man?
school tut.
I like Gucci standing up for his his choices, but y'all think Joe got a point?
Yeah, I think Joe's got a point. I think Gucci's got a point too. I think they both have points. But if a bunch of your artists are dying, the most interesting part about this entire conversation was that he tied it into the relation of the A&R.
Mhm.
You know,
Which we've talked about the last
Yeah, I think that's an interesting anecdote. That's kind of a side conversation, though. I don't know if that's directly related to that aspect of it. But no, I do think Joe Budden has a very interesting point. But what is this? I don't think it's Gucci's fault. No,
that's what I was about to ask. Is it fair to put that at the feet of Gucci, the entire scope of all of the stuff that happens with 1017 or, the things that happen with the artist? Because it kind of comes off as it's his fault or he's responsible for it.
He does have a responsibility.
There's a level of responsibility.
In my opinion, I think once you bring somebody into your fold,
exactly.
With anything with great power comes great responsibility. I believe that's something that I believe in, and regardless of if he's doing a little bit, sure, it's better than nothing. But I think there is responsibility in that. To help these. If you're really helping these guys out of a situation, if they're in a bad situation, then we wouldn't be what Joe Budden say, like 8, 9, or 10 people pass. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there needs to be something else happening there. I don't know if A&Ring is the correct thing.
No, I don't think it's A&R, but I do agree with you on that because I was thinking the exact same thing. Once you step in to kind of be that, I don't want to even say savior because it's almost giving them
too much.
Yeah. But being the one that gives them the opportunity to change their situation and their living conditions, then you're kind of responsible to make that shift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So make sure that happens.
So rather than signing a whole bunch of people trying to help them, if you can't do it for that many people, then maybe you need to focus on a few first. Move them, get them out of that situation. It's kind of similar to when Snoop Dogg signed to Master P.
Mm-hmm.
So when he signed to No Limit, P made him move from L.A., where he was in danger of possibly succumbing to the street life. He made him come to New Orleans, put him up in a neighborhood, a gated community, to where he's away from all of that, and told him, you cannot go back to LA for this amount of time.
Right.
Because, at the end of the day, it's an investment. And if I'm looking out for you, I'm looking out for you.
If you're really looking out for
right. I don't want you to be in a situation to where you might lose your life behind what you're doing, and you're better than that. You know what I'm saying? You're already trying to overcome your situation. So he actually did it for all his artists.
He did.
He put all of his artists away from their upbringing, you know what I'm saying, to get them away from what was going on, to make them focus on this is what it is now. Yeah. This is where we're going. So I agree with Joe Budden in that sentiment.
I think too, when you put more money behind something like that in general, and you don't take somebody out of a specific situation, it's just going
to aid and abide.
It's going to push it even further, probably.
The same thing that happened with ČNKS.
Oh yeah. With the, you can't. Okay, you got a Panamera. You go back to your neighborhood. Yeah. There's somebody not happy to see you, and it found up being somebody that he knew.
Yep.
Who was just hating from the sidelines.
Yep.
Because you come back and your girl smile a little bit. It's too much for some people. Everybody's not happy for you.
Yeah.
But when you talk
say
about,
that again, bro. That's it.
When you talk about what happened with Gucci's artists, okay, if it had been one or two. But when it gets to be half the people you sign either go to jail or get killed,
that's why
there needs to be a reassessment of what's going on here. Yeah. And the thing is, I know you're thinking, okay, I'm giving these people opportunity, but you just can't give people a signing bonus in a 1017 chain and say, oh, your problems are over now. It doesn't work like that.
Lone hit it on the head when he said, with that comes responsibility.
Exactly. If anything, it puts a bigger target on your back. If you're not removed from your situation.
Because I remember Tony Yayo talking about, when I came home, I didn't go back to the hood. 50 made sure I was away from that.
Yeah.
Not just as a friend, but as someone who he had invested in. So, I understand because it's coming from Joe Budden. It can, because his platform and his voice are so loud.
Yeah.
It can seem like, man, this is unfair for you to say about me. But at the same time, I think it comes from a place of, hey, man, what are you doing? Not to. It sounds like I think Gucci Mane has his heart in the right place, trying to give people
for sure
who who need an opportunity and a space for them to make money, to get them out of their situation. But you got to give them more steps, because think about how many times Gucci, he talked about it, how many mistakes Gucci Mane made when he was famous and popping and still wound up in prison. for this, that, and the third. And he, when he got out, he was such a different person. People thought he was a clone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he came here and it changed his life.
Yeah.
So you got to go through Indiana first in order to change your life. Mm-hmm. I'm just talking crazy.
Yeah. Mike
Tyson came through here. Yeah, got right.
Gucci came out. They said he was a clone.
Project Pat did some time up Evansville.
Came through here. Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't think this comes from a place of hate with Joe Budden. It's just,
sometimes conversations need to be stern. You know what I mean? Because there's no other way people are going to take them serious. And Joe's in a very unique position to be able to have this conversation.
Yeah,
he is.
Because some people may be scared to say that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and it actually makes sense. If you put yourself in a position to change somebody's life, then change their life.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
But heavy is the head, though.
Yeah,
heavy is the head with that.
True, but I mean, you can't give them the first 2 steps if you know the other 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just like, okay, get money, get a chain. Okay, that's not going for someone who is at risk and is like their life is on the line and they're on the edge of being in the street life. That's not really helping.
Nah, if you're not in a position to actually change your life, then there's no way. No, there's no reason to toy around with it because. And I'm not saying this about Gucci, but there's other labels that are taking out life insurance policies on their artists.
Facts.
So if you get signed to this label and you're still out doing what you're doing, they have a life insurance policy on you. So they're going to make their money regardless, whether you put it on an album or not.
Bun B actually broke this down. He said in his 1992 contract with Jive Records, it sounds crazy that people were signing to a place called Jive Records in retrospect.
Jive Turkey.
But he said there was a death in jail clause.
Yep.
To where, okay, if one of the members of UGK either goes to jail or dies, then they can replace said member, but at a lower percentage royalty rate.
Right.
Yeah.
This is stuff that lawyers for record companies write into official contracts.
Official paperwork. Facts.
Legit.
And the thing is, they came to him with that when he went to jail and when Pimp C died. And it was like, what do y'all think? This is my friend. This isn't just some guy I do music with. This is my friend.
At the end of the day, to them, it's business.
Yes.
So regardless of what happened, is my condolences. But here in Section A1B, it states that you will not be getting paid said number of dollars because of what happened.
And how quick Terry said that is exactly how it is. My condolences. All right, let's get to this paperwork.
Because look, it's just like when people think that their job cares about them. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's sometimes maybe a little bit more here than there, but when the submarine thing happened, they was looking for new employees that day.
Yeah.
Before they even knew the submarine had imploded or whatever.
Listen, I had a job leave a total bad taste in my mouth to where I was set up my steps to leave based on when my mom passed.
Yeah.
Of how they responded about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they don't care about you or anybody that has anything to do with you. Essentially, it's all about the bottom dollar.
Look, they did the.
I love how all of our conversations go back to capitalism.
Yeah.
Look, they did. Look, just think about it. They did the Wendy Williams show for a year and a half without Wendy Williams.
Yes,
I swear.
And now it's rebranded as
Sherry Shepherd.
Sherry Shepherd. Yeah.
And now because Wendy Williams used to have a whole YouTube channel with all the interviews, and now it's like recipes and stuff. You would think Wendy Williams never existed.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be set up.
And that's capitalism.
The American way.
Drop the mic.
Hey, man.
Long story short, work on your own dream.
Come on, man.
Work on your own dream.
Instead of before you make some time. I know you got to get your money, but make some time to work on your own dream before you go all in on working somebody else's.
We appreciate that. I'm sure the artists appreciate the lob. Shout out to Gucci for throwing the lobs, but keep saying it, man. Heavy is the head. Just be careful. Be mindful because. That's not a blip. That's a trend. And everything that we're seeing, 100%. Something's going on there.
Straight up. And if you're coming up like Tut Tarantino, stay where you at.
Yeah.
True. Don't be King Tut out here, man.
What's wrong with your boy?
He's buried.
Yeah. King Tut actually died from a sickness.
See?
Yeah.
You don't want to be like him.
And you know what they did?
Sickness of capitalism.
They buried him with all this stuff, and later on they just came and took it.
I'm talking about took everything.
Sure did.
Yeah, he's actually on a tour right now.
Exactly.
He is on tour, ain't he? Yo, that's crazy.
Right
he is on tour.
He's on a European tour.
Yeah,
Hold on.
exactly.
They took everything from fam and then put him on tour.
He's on tour.
What part
right
of the game
now.
is that?
What year did he die?
I don't
know.
Long time ago though, right?
How many longs?
He's still working.
He's still working. Hey, just like a lot of rappers are still working after they're dead.
Come on, man.
He's on a war tour.
You get better promotion after you pass.
Yeah, exactly.